Sounds like a solid plan to me. I don't know, you kind of can't fuck that up. Hot! Oh, shit! Fuck that. Back, continuing fab work on the sporty chopper. I got all the welds ground down. I also bought a flat disc here so I can clean these up a little bit before I send it off to powder coat, but I also have a few other things I need to do before that as well. The main things are battery box mount getting welded, oil tank mount getting welded, seat mount needs to get welded, as well as the tank holes need to be drilled into the frame. So I got a little while before anything like that happens, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff mounted just so it's one less thing to worry about. And I reached out to TC Bros about installation instructions for all this stuff because they don't come with anything. The frame does come with instructions, but as far as the accessories, none. They said everything is pretty, it's 100% customizable. They don't want you, locked down with one set of instructions to install this stuff. So I put the back wheel on, and it's all the way forward. So this is as far forward as this wheel can possibly go. I put the battery box mount on. I'm of course gonna line it up, I'm gonna make it straight and everything. I'm gonna weld it on. That way I know the battery's not gonna rub anywhere. And then I'm probably gonna go ahead and weld the battery box onto the mount for two reasons. One, these holes don't line up at all. And two, I don't see any reason I would need to take this off. I thought the engine mounts would be an issue. They are not. The bolts fit right in here. There's no issue there. Yeah, this should be really easy to install. And then I'm gonna start working on the oil tank. It's gonna be a little bit trickier because a little bit more involved to the install. I also got the big sissy bar kit that's gonna go somewhere around here with the install kit, but I need the fender before I can actually install this. This actually gets rid of the fender strut kit because this welds directly to the fender. So I need to order the fender before I can install this. So I'm gonna fire up the welder, and I got my better welding helmet today. I usually have this at work, but this is my auto darkening Miller helmet. This is a lot better, so I should be able to make things a little bit cleaner. Alright, so the battery box welded on. They ain't pretty. I mean, these ones aren't too bad. This one I could probably clean up a little bit. We're gonna move on to the oil tank. This is the TC Bros 5-inch pill style oil tank. It's gonna go up here below the backbone on this down tube, and essentially it came with 3 mounting tabs. One big one with a curve in it, and then 2 of these smaller flat ones. This one's gonna go under, and it's gonna hold it from below. These 2 are gonna go on either side of the down tube here, and they're gonna hold it from the back. And once you get those welded on, after you measure and mark everything, there's 3 of these little bungs with a curved inside, and these are curved to fit the 5-inch tank. And you're gonna weld them on to each spot where your mounting tab is at. And they mount these rubber grommets. They're gonna go inside the mounting tabs. Bolt's gonna go through. There's a metal sleeve in there. Bolt's gonna go through with a washer, and it's going to mount the tank right where you want it. Sounds a lot easier than it's going to be. It's going to take a few times of mocking it up just because I don't want this thing to be fucking cattywampus or anything like that. Yeah, ain't nothing to it but to get fucking going. See how it turns out. So basically I'm going to take a measurement from the bottom of the engine mount up, and I'm going to go ahead and weld the bottom mounting plate in. And that will give me a good point of reference for the other two mounts. There was, I got this tacked, and then I put the tank on, centered it, had the angle adjusted right with the spout and the drain bung, I'm assuming is what it is at the bottom. And I just went ahead and marked it with a Sharpie so I know where to weld the bung. I'm gonna let all this cool down before I do anything else. I'm not trying to melt grommets. Shit's cooled down enough. I got it mounted with the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and use a marker to mark where the bungs on the back need to go. Get those tacked on, make sure everything looks good, test fit, weld the bungs on, good to go. So I just ran out of wire as I was getting the rest of these welds on the bungs. I'm gonna have to go to the store and get some more wire. I thought I had enough to finish this, but I clearly do not. So what I am gonna do is let these cool down because they're over halfway done. I'm gonna let them cool down, test fit them, make sure everything's good, which it should be. I adjusted fire a little bit on that last bung. So that should be good to go. Then I can go ahead and set this aside after I get the bungs completely welded on, set this aside until it's ready to get painted. This tank is gonna get painted to match the tank and fender. And then the battery box being permanently welded on, and all the mounts to include the fender mount when I get it, the seat mount, the brake caliper mount. I think that's about it as far as mounts go that need to be welded on. That's all going to get painted the same color as the frame. We'll see. Everything's still tentative. Nothing's set in stone yet other than apparently this being there. That's welded on. So yeah, new wire coming.